Yo, Bo, welcome to another episode of In the Life with MightyFan, and we are going from one place to another right now once I pull out of this parking spot. Oh, I'm in a parking garage in Philly, so that means, you know what that means. It was a Mitchell Ness day. So they are running a Father's Day sale, which is like 30% off. I think it's only Swingman paraphernalia. But they were running a deal earlier in the week, which was 40% off Authentics. And if you showed them the ad on their IG page about that, they would still honor it today, and I guess tomorrow too. So if you're in the area and you want to get 40% off an authentic Mitchell Ness item, or I don't know if you can still kind of hit them up on IG with that, screen grab of the ad or something. I'm not really sure, but for sure, if you come to Philly, or if you're in the Philly area and you want to do some shopping at Mitchell & Ness and you want to get 40% off, look at their IG feed. It's from a few days ago, but you'll find the 40% off deal advertisement, and you show them that and you get 40% off. It's that easy. Right? So just a little tip there if you want to save some money and you want to do some shopping. I myself kind of hit and miss. I did get the throwback Jason Williams Miami Heat jersey, the white throwback jersey, their old home jersey that they wore as a throwback jersey for a bit on Hardwood Classics night when he was there on the team with D. Wade and Shaq and company. They also made D. Wade and Shaq, and eventually I would like to get those. Gate open, that's a good thing. That means I can leave. But Jay Will is he's a player I always liked back from his days, his early days in the NBA, and of course he's a Gator too. He's a Florida Gator. So got to represent, right? So I got his jersey, and I was not able to get the Pete Rose. I asked about the Road Gray Pete Rose that they made, the Cincinnati Reds that they made not that long ago, and it was already out in a 2X. It was gone, and they only go up to 2X in the store. So I guess I'll have to get that online sometime, because it is a jersey I want to get, and that's a jersey I was kind of, going in between the two, and I'm like, you know what? Oh my, that was a little distracting back there. But anyhow, it's getting hot out. But anyhow, I lost my train of thought. That was so special. I just lost my train of thought. The legs, I mean the jerseys, the throwbacks, baseball. See, now I'm remembering again. Baseball. So the Pete Rose, I was kind of debating between the two as I was heading to the store. I'm like, do I want to get the Pete Rose? Do I want to get the Jay Will? Because I knew I just wanted to walk away with one today. I didn't want to go too crazy. Actually, just found out, as I said, my Mini Cooper's ready for pickup. And that, of course, means extra money to pay for what needed to be fixed. But 40% is a really good deal, and I did want to take advantage. So I'm like, all right, well, I kind of made the decision as I was heading to the store. This guy's just idly no. Now you want to move. City traffic, people. It's fun. It's an adventure. And I kind of settled on the Road Pete Rose, because I'm like, the baseball jerseys, they usually don't have as much in stock as basketball. Basketball seems to linger a little more, not just in the store, but online. Baseball sometimes can move pretty decently. And I'm like, you know what? I mean, as I said before, baseball is my first love. And the Polynit jerseys from the 70s and a Road Gray, it's all the best of the worlds for me. All right, what are we doing, buddy? You're in the way. So I kind of settled on that Pete Rose. I'm like, all right, well, I mean, I just did get that 85 red one in. I wasn't able to get the 75 because they were gone, you know, by the time I was ready to move on it. So let me just grab this road gray while it's still available. Well, of course, that's the first one I asked for. And I asked them just in case if they did have any of the white, you know, 75 home jerseys. And they didn't have anything in the 2X. So those moved, but I think they are still, at least the road gray I know is still available on the website and maybe places like Fanatics or something. At least I know the Mitchell & Ness site has it, I believe. So I may have to just grab it, and that's a paying for. On the website. You can't do paying for in the store. I kind of wish you could. But at any rate. So I struck out on one, but I was able to get the other. So I was able to get at least one of the two. This is the most. This one stretch by City Hall is still probably the worst place to drive in the city. I'm gonna get over here because I see what that guy's doing. Okay, I feel a little better now. You really have to think on your feet on this stretch. There's no rules on the roads here. They're just you do whatever you want, basically. Right? You got a lot of people from out of town. They don't know the area. They don't know the roads, and they're kind of weaving around. You got guys doing the scary thing with the steering wheel. You know, so you know this area you do kind of have to keep a eye out for all sorts of stuff. But anyhow, so yeah, I did get the J-Will. I was happy at least to walk away with that. It was the last one in the 2X in the store. So thankfully, I did get that because I'm like, okay, well, there's some other stuff. I'm like thinking on, you know, if they don't, as the guy went back to look for the J-Will, I'm like, all right, well, if they don't have that, what else is really high up on the list? And I had a couple, but I'm like, you know, maybe just walk out with a couple of hats or something for 30%. At least to get something, because believe it or not, I don't want to buy just to buy. You know, I do want to have a purpose for it. So sometimes, yeah, I mean, if there just isn't, you know, what I'm really looking for, as nice of a 40% off deal it is, it's like, well, you know, sometimes you do have to kind of weigh things. And like, all right, well, maybe I'll just go a little cheaper today, just grab a couple hats or something like that, come back for the next deal, you know. But they did have the J-Will, so I walked out with that. That's the only thing I got. It's sitting back there in a bag. I'll share it the next time I do a vlog from the house where I can actually show it to you. Can't really do that right now, obviously. But, so I was happy at least to walk away with that. Super nice jersey. You know, I think all three are pretty nice. Some people said something about the Heat logo being a little small. I just think people nitpick a little too much sometimes. Listen, I mean, I'm a jersey head as big as they come. I get it. But I do think it gets to a point where it's almost like we're looking for problems. And these are not game-worn jerseys. If you want perfection, that's the only way you're going to get it. Game-worn team issue, that's the only way you're ever going to get perfection on a jersey. And I know the price point for the Mitchell & Ness, I get that. I'm not trying to make excuses. They have made some big mistakes over in recent years and in older time, you know, back in the Peter years. But I think sometimes it's like people just want to find that mistake. And it's like, they're replica jerseys. They're high-end replica, but they are replica. Now, if they got the color wrong, or like Jason Williams didn't play in that jersey, or, you know, something like that, yeah, I think that's a reason for me not to get it. But if the logo, the Heat logo, is a little smaller than it should be on the front, okay, I can't find that jersey any other way other than if I can get it custom done by someone. That's the only other way I can get that jersey. And True can't do the logo. He can't do that NBA logo, that Hardwood Classics NBA logo. So, I mean, I can't really get it from True as great as stuff as he does. And I don't know, maybe Rivalry or one of these other sources, but it's like, you know, Mitchell & Ness made it. It's right there. I can pick it up. I'm happy. You know, it really, that's the bottom line for me. So where I'm going right now, so I'm going from the mall, or from the mall to the mall. I'm going from Mitchell & Ness in the city here to King of Prussia. I haven't been there in a minute. And Lids just dropped a set of fitteds that's really looked good. It's the Pinstripe collection. I know they did one last year. They did some other ones this year. There's ones that I kind of wonder if they have in the area. And so basically it's kind of more of, I just kind of wonder if they have them, you know, in my area. So one of the hats I would like to get if they have it is the Florida Marlins. Because the hat is obviously, you know, it has that Marlins across the front, or Florida, I think it has Marlins across the front. It's like the jersey front of for the front. And it has the inaugural season patch. And I do have a couple Marlins jerseys like that, but not like this one. And I have a home Gary Sheffield, you know, vintage Russell Marlins jersey with that patch on it. So you can just imagine that hat will go absolutely perfect with that jersey. So if we have the Marlins here in stock, which sometimes they do, I'm going to grab that. There were some other nice looking ones. The Phillies one I'm kind of lukewarm towards. They are, and I know it sells and I get it. I have a couple hats. They really are pushing that big Phillies, you know, tail sweeper logo. That it's on like every Phillies hat now. It's like, we can do something else, can't we? And I think last year they did the what was it, the 80 World Series or something like that, which I already have. I have the original one that they did, you know, years ago, before the fitted game blew up, right before COVID. So they did this set years ago, and they did, if not every team, just about every team. And of that set, I have the Phillies, I have the Diamondbacks, and there might be one other team in there that I have. And then they brought them back last year. I think it was the first time they brought them back, and they did a bunch of them, you know, Tampa and all them, right? I think I got the Tampa last year. And now they did them again this year because they were a big hit last year, so they brought them back. And you know, there's some real hitters. There's some real hitters in that set. And I know I'm not going to be able to find some of the ones here because we don't get some of those teams here, but that's okay. I'm more interested to see if we have Florida, maybe even Montreal. I kind of like the Montreal that they did, and sometimes we do get Montreal hats here. You know, some of them are kind of take or leave, you know, but I like that Florida. I think of the set just being a jersey head and looking at what I have compared to that set that came out, the Florida is definitely one I want. You know, it's like Arizona, they've kind of done a few times. I have the original one. I'm good with that. The Phillies, I have the 1980 that they did years ago. I'm good with that. You know, if they would have done something like let's say a current Phillies, like red pinstripe hat with like, you know, the 08 World Series logo or something like that, maybe that could have been something. I think they did the 96 All-Star with like the tail sweeper Phillies. And I kind of don't, it has a blue brim. It's like, I'd have to see it in the store before I make my ultimate decision on that. But it just doesn't really move me that much, you know? It's like they could have done something else. They haven't done like more of a current Phillies, like the World Series, the 08 World Series, you know, pinstripe or something like that. Because obviously not only did they win the World Series, they won that at home, wearing the pinstripe jersey. So that would have been a pretty cool one to do, but they're just in love with that tail sweeper logo. They just, every Phillies hat has to be that. It's like, no, we can do something else. It's a nice logo. I have it on the wall as a fathead. All right, it serves the purpose, but you don't have to do every single hat that you make in that logo for the Phillies. There's some other options out there. You know, widen horizons a little bit here, right? But it sells, so of course they're gonna make more and more and more and more. So that's where I'm going now. Now, you may or may not have heard this, but last week we had a section of I-95 that collapsed due to a tanker truck accident. And shout out to Philly Captain, who's been doing yeoman's work to do the videos of the traffic near his area of Bridesburg and such. And it's a mess. It's a mess. Now, I'm not going on 95 now. I don't know if where I go on 95 it would really affect me. The only time I really use 95, other than to go to Slim's in Maryland, is to go to like the sports complex, like the Philly games and such. And I don't know how bad it's going to be there. I'm still kind of debating what I want to do, because my next Phillies game is coming up on Friday. And I'm going with actually a buddy of mine and his wife. Shout out to Anthony. And it's a Phillies-Mets game, and he's a Mets fan. And I enjoy going to Phillies-Mets games because I think the fans really, I know it's fun, it's like the back and forths, but I do think that there's a bit of a kindred spirit with these fans in some ways, because we both have had to deal with a lot of disappointments. Now, obviously, I've seen the Phillies win a World Series in 08. We were just in a World Series last year. I've seen them in, what, goodness, 93, 08, 09, 4 of them so far in my life. I went to a World Series game. Unfortunately, it was the no-hitter for Houston last year. But, so, you know, I've done okay as a Phillies fan. Well, we've dealt with our share of disappointment. We certainly have. I mean, most years have been downright awful. But we've had some good years, right? The Met fans, I mean, it's been since 86, right? So, but I enjoy going to Phillies-Mets games. I mean, I always have fun with Met fans. It's, you know, we've had some good conversations, and, you know, it's fun. And, you know, Anthony's a Mets fan, and we swapped war stories together and such. And, you know, I haven't seen him play the Mets in person with him, so that's going to be kind of fun. So I look forward to that next Friday night. Maybe I'll do a little video from there, you know, we'll see. The Phillies are playing better now. You know, they've been winning. They finally won a series in Arizona for the first time since, what, 2015 or 16? Oh my God, this is crazy. I only go there once a year, but I mean, you know, the Diamondbacks always seem to have their number in the desert, but this time the Phillies won 3 of 4. In fact, they lost the first game, which was the dopey opener that they've been doing because they don't have a fifth starter. And they lost that first game like 9-8. It was some crazy. And then they won the next 3, including one in an extra inning. And then they won yesterday in Oakland to start that series. And I do feel for the Oakland fans. I can't imagine what it would be like if the Phillies left town, you know. And I know Philly went through it many years ago with the A's. Speaking of the A's, but obviously I wasn't alive for that. I wasn't alive for when the Warriors left town, so I can't really speak of seeing one of my teams leave. But I know I would be heartbroken, you know. I mean, goodness, as bad as the Flyers have been, if they ever left town, it would really be a heartbreaking thing. The Sixers, as disappointed as they like to test me. They really every year. Oh, second round? Well, no, we can't get out of there. Oh, what's that? But no, it would be heartbreaking if they left, right? Now, obviously, I mean, the Eagles, it's like they're part of the foundation, you know. It's like, and in fact, they almost did many years ago, back in the 80s, I believe. They almost moved to Arizona. Thank God that didn't happen. And the Phillies, like, as bad as they've been a lot of years, they've never really came close to leaving town. So I can't imagine what that's like. And I know the Oakland fans are very passionate, and they've been really good. You know, they've had some great years, you know, back in the 70s and 80s and 90s, and even some recent time. And I feel for them. And you know, I feel for fan bases that lose their team. Sometimes the fans get blamed, and I think it's kind of unfair. The fans can only do so much. You know, if the team isn't putting a product out there worth seeing, you know, you're paying good money to go to games. You know, the price of going to a game is tough. I mean, particularly if you have a family and you're taking people, there's food, there's drink, there's parking, there's buying, souvenirs. And that's not even just the price of the ticket. So I get it. If the team isn't putting a good product on the field or the court or the ice, I never blame fans for not going to games. I mean, I go to my Phillies games a year. I might go to a Flyers game here or there, maybe a Sixers game if I get lucky, an Eagles game. I'm not one that goes to a lot of games besides for the Phillies. It's just something that, I like watching at home. I like being in my recliner watching games on my TV and having free access to the bathroom or food or drinks or whatever. Not having to get up every 2 seconds for someone to walk by. But there is a lot of good about going to games and seeing the games in person. You can, it's that atmosphere. You can take it all in, the sights, the smells, the sounds. It's all of that, right? And when the team is doing good, obviously, it's that much more fun because now you're really energized into it, right? But I do feel bad, and I know we have some Bay Area residents in our group. I know, or fans in our group. I know Rez, I know Bay Area, and I do feel bad. I feel bad for the Oakland fans. I know, again, they're a passionate fan base, and they don't, it's like they got the rug pulled out from them. So I definitely stand with Oakland and the fans. I know we had, I heard on the radio there was a Phillies fan that was there. He got the shirt, the Cell shirt. It was there for them. And, it's a hard thing. It's a tough thing. Unfortunately, sports is a business. It's a cold reality. It's a bottom dollar deal. And, new stadiums, everyone wants the new stadium. Everyone wants all the amenities because it's more money. It brings more revenue for the team and for the city. And it's a bottom dollar deal. As fans, we look at it as it's the players, it's the managers, it's the owners, it's the, it's really more the product on the field than anything else, or on the court or on the ice. But within the organization, it's really about the money. And it's always going to be about the money. They can win 20 championships, they can win 0 championships, but they have to make that money. It's that bottom dollar. And how can they increase making money, right? Those stadium deals, all that stuff, the advertisements, all that. That's what drives it. And as fans, it's unfortunate because a lot of fans, are in situations where they get the raw end of the deal, and that's the unfortunate nature of it. It happened here many years ago with 2 of the teams. It's just what it is, A lot of places have had to deal with it, obviously, even cities like New York and, Chicago and, all these different places, they've all had to deal with it, It's a tough thing. Sometimes ownerships see greener pastures in other areas, and they don't think about the people. And they don't think about the people who have been diehard fans in some cases since the team moved to that town or became an organization as an expansion franchise. That's never thought of. And as I said, that's the cold reality of what the business end of sports. Well, that's my piece on that anyhow. All right, so I'm about to get off of here and go to City Avenue. Now, I could stay on here and go to King of Prussia, but this traffic is just a mess. It's always bad here, so I try to avoid this if ever I'm going to go, which isn't very often, but if ever I'm going to go to KOP from the city. And shout out as always to the fellas at Mitchell and Ness. They like I said, I've never had a bad experience in that store. The people there, the workers, the store's boss, basically Josh. Shout out to Josh. We're there today, and they make you feel welcome, and they're very, they're helpful. They they look for stuff if you ask and such. Because obviously they don't have every size out. They have like 1 jersey per. And most of the sizes they have out are like large, you know, medium large. So you gotta ask for the bigger jerseys, you know. At least I do. And but they're always very helpful, and you know, they do as good a job as you can. Yeah, I've said this many a time, and I'll still say it. That's part of the reason why I still, you know, feel the way I do about the company, you know, because of the experiences I have at the store. And I know it's different. The website, I've said this many a time, needs to be changed. It needs an overhaul. Particularly now it's run by fanatics. You would think that they would get their hands on it, and maybe they will. But I've never had a bad experience at that store, and you know, that continued today. You know, good time talking to the fellas and chopping it up a little bit. It got a little busy, so I said, all right, you know, this is where I gotta take my leave. Let them do their job. But it's always appreciated. Always appreciated. So, we were looking at the one of the guys, they're pulling it up on his phone. We were looking at the powder blue collection from New Era. I said, oh, this place, they're going to take my money. Oh, there's going to be a problem. But that is a really nice set of hats that New Era put out. We'll see. We'll see how many of them I can get. We'll see. Obviously, I can't get them all at once, so we're going to have to maybe take 2 at a time or something like that. And, you know, some are like, if I never get, okay, I have many Phillies powder blue. I do have Expos, but the Expos that they did is a little different. It's part of the reason why I kind of want to get that on my next purchase with them, because it has Expos written underneath the logo. And they did have that on their jersey for a time. They did have Expos written on below their logo. Like I said, all the hats for that set are jersey hook hats, all of them. So it makes it so special for me and for fellow jersey heads, I'm sure. Even the Kansas City, they never did a Kansas City like this one, because it's the jersey front of the 1980 powder blue, and I have the George Brett of it, so you know, that probably has to happen too. Now I forget the logo on the side of that one. I forget if they used the 80 World Series or if they used something else. I'd have to go back and look at that one again. But the front of that hat, the front of the hat is basically the front of the 80. You know, basically that jersey from that time period, the road jersey, the powder blue. So we will see. We'll see. There's others. The Rangers, the Texas Rangers. Oh, another one, as it goes with the Gaylord Perry that Mitchell and Ness made years ago. And I know they've worn it as a throwback since. If you have like an A-Rod, you know, when he was on the Rangers, as he wore that jersey for a throwback game, you know, it goes with that. Other players from that era. I have to go back and see if, like, you know, I don't think Pudge wore that one, but, you know, some other, you know, Ranger players. But it is a fantastic set that New Era put out. There's been a lot of really nice hats, obviously. It just continues. It just continues. I know the fellas are doing, you know, great work over at, you know, the Toppers USA store in the Bronx and also online. There's some real nice ones they've been putting out. There's a Cleveland one that they just made. Oh. I mean, obviously they can't use the Chief Wahoo logo, but it has like the All-Star, I believe the All-Star logo from when it was in Cleveland those years ago, I think, from '97, I believe. It could be something else. I think that's what the logo was on the side. And the colors of the hat are from that era. So, you know, even though it doesn't have Chief Wahoo on it, it's from the Chief Wahoo era. So, That was a nice hat. I know Crown Minded's put out some nice ones. Put out some hook hats, you know, one team for the other. So there's a couple on the radar there. Like I said, I got the Tigers Lions hook from them some weeks ago. Yeah, so there's been a lot of good stuff. The problem is there's been a lot of good stuff, but the funds haven't exactly been there to move on as many. But you know, I'm just biding my time a little bit more. Okay, what are we doing here, guys? What are we doing? What is going on? Man, one person that doesn't know what a gas pedal is in front. I can go visit my car. My Mini Cooper is back there. That's where it's being served. That's where it was being serviced. I'm glad to get that back, though. I mean, obviously, it took a little longer than we thought because the part was on back order, and apparently it got taken care of. So, well, come Monday morning, Mini Cooper will be back. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. Okay, he turned. We had a bicycle rider and a car stopped. Trying to make a turn, and I was trying to get around the bicyclist. I'm like, oh no, this is going to be, this could get interesting here. Let's get steady. It's a nice day though. We're lucky. This weekend is a good weekend, good Father's Day weekend. Happy Father's Day, of course, to my dad tomorrow. I'm going to visit him. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Father's Day is tomorrow. Make sure you visit your dads if you can, or if they passed, condolences on that, but make sure you think of your dad. Yeah, you should think of your dad all the time, but obviously Father's Day is a time to, you know, certainly if possible, you know, spend time with your father, or at least talk to him over the phone or such, if you can. I got my dad a Miles Davis record. My dad likes various different music, but he likes the blues music from back in the day too, and Miles, of course, being one of the best. My dad still has it's a newer one, but a record player, vinyl. You can play vinyl on there. So I got him first time I ever did it, I got him some records for Christmas, and he really liked them. I couldn't think about what to get for, you know, should we go somewhere to eat, you know, something like that. But I'm like, yeah, you know, he liked those records. Let me look around on Amazon, and I found a Miles Davis, a best of Miles Davis vinyl, and I'll give that to him tomorrow when I go visit. Oh my. You know, I always hate it when it's a 2-lane road and someone's waiting to turn at a light, and like the guy in the last zips in front, cuts you off basically to go over, and then the light turns. So then you miss the light because of the idiot who didn't want to wait. Of course, if they get hit, it's my fault. So anyhow, that is what I got going on tomorrow. And then, like I said, next week I'll be at the Phillies game on Friday. I do want to see the new Flash movie, and mainly to see Michael Keaton as Batman again. Because Michael Keaton's still my favorite Batman, so Because I saw those movies back when I was younger, when they were in the theater. The original Tim Burton Batman movie, and then the Batman Returns. Then they kept going through Batman. They couldn't settle on one. It was Val Kilmer, George Clooney. You know, I did like the other series that came out, the Batman Begins and all that. I liked that. Bale as Batman. I think he did a good job. And I really like the one with the Joker. It's probably my favorite of that, that set of those Batman movies. And I did like the last one. I did like the most recent one that came out. With what was it? Patterson as Batman. I think that was a really nice one. I think it was really well done. But to me, it's still the Michael Keaton Batman. Those are still, because that was really the first Batman movie I saw. I mean, obviously, Adam West played Batman for many years in TV, and they did some movies and such. But I never really got into Batman back, like, obviously, I mean, it was on rerun, when I was younger, but obviously that series came out in the 60s. So I wasn't there for that, So my first real, Batman experience was the Tim Burton, the original movie with, Jack Nicholson as the Joker and all that, That movie was my first real Batman, experience, and so I wouldn't call myself a huge Batman fan, but I'm a fan enough, I know enough certainly about the character that I can enjoy the movies and whatnot. I mean, obviously my name here on YouTube, right? Mighty Mouse Fan. Mighty is still my favorite. I'm hoping still someday he gets a movie. It seems they're making a movie for every superhero known to man, but it's like, well, Mighty, you still gotta wait. Eventually. But, the Hulk is another big favorite of mine. I grew up with I did watch the Lou Ferrigno, series when I was younger. I met Lou years ago at a comic convention, and I shook hands, thanked him for, his, role as the Hulk and all that. It was cool. A very nice guy. Extremely, extremely nice. Very big. But he's a gentle giant. He really is. But the Hulk has always been one of my favorites. In fact, the character I created, Fervis, has a lot of Hulk, in him. He's a wolf, but he's very, extremely large and very powerful. And his nickname's the Hulk Wolf. So, Superman, I've always liked Superman. I was born in '78, and I mean the original movie with Christopher Reeves came out in '78. I've always liked that movie, so I always kind of liked Superman. But Batman has always been one of my favorites too. And I'd say if there was that like Mount Rushmore for superheroes for me, I mean, it would be Mighty, it would be the Hulk, Superman, and Batman. More than likely, that would be the four on that Mount Rushmore. I like a lot of stuff. I like watching a lot of superheroes. I know my buddy Adam's never watched the Marvel movies, but I've watched them. I enjoy them. Some more than others. There's ones I never could quite really get into because I just didn't know that much about some of those characters. And some of them were kind of not really my cup of tea. But I enjoyed the movie for what it was. I'm not the biggest Ant-Man fan, but I thought the movies were enjoyable. They kept my interest. Never a big Guardians of the Galaxy guy, but the movies were enjoyable. I thought some of the characters were funny, and fun to watch. Even some of the iterations of those Hulk movies from, back when, like the first movie when it came out was, I really wish they could have done better. It was a little too much story and less Hulk, you know. It was like, no, we want to see the big guy, you know. You don't even see him until halfway through the movie. It's like, eh. But I like the second one. I like the other one, the one that came out some years after that when he was battling the Abomination. I thought they really captured the Hulk well in that one when he came. Obviously it's CGI, but just his look there was very more Hulk-like than the first movie. But I do like the most recent iterations of him in the Avengers. A couple of scenes with him, just certainly. He's complaining about the steps in the one. Like, yeah, I know that. So many stairs. And obviously, in the first movie, where he, you know, grabs Loki and does the old, you know, swings him around a few times. Beauty God. And I believe that is Lou's voice. I think Lou did voice the Hulk in those movies. So when the Hulk is talking, that's Lou Ferrigno. So it's pretty cool that they kept him going as at least the voice of the Hulk. And he did show up. He had the cameo, I think, in at least a couple of those movies. I think the first two you saw Lou. Because what was it? The one movie he was like the security guard, walking out with Stan Lee or something like that, and then the other movie he was a security guard again. He was offered the pizza to let Bruce in. Thank you, brother. I keep getting behind slow people. This isn't good. Is that Maryland plate? Yeah, Slim, come on, man. You need Maryland drivers. What's going on? I think there's a Maryland plate in front of me. Not saying Slim drives slow. No, Slim, I've been in the Mustang with him, and in the back, yeah, that's a Maryland tag. Come on, Maryland. Let's go. Because I think at the time Adam was visiting. Adam was in the front with Slim, and I was in the back. And Slim was going down the highway, and I was getting wind whipped. And so now, we're getting there though. We're getting there. How many minutes have this been? 43 minutes so far. I thought about doing the vehicle vlog on the way to Mitchell, but then I figured, you know, on the way from the city to King of Prussia is a little longer of a drive, so I think I'd enjoy that a little more. And of course, in a couple weeks, we got that big meetup at the Naismith at the Hall of Fame, Basketball Hall of Fame, with snacks, of course, being gracious enough to host it, and I can't wait for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to see, you know, Slim, of course, is coming down with. He's got to come to my place. We're going to go from here, and Nostalgia Boy's going to be there. King Leo's going to be there, and Mac, and Resurrection, all the way from the Bay Area, is going to be there. And we'll see who else shows up, but I mean, that's some crew right there. But it should be a lot of fun. We're gonna enjoy it. And me, I'll try to be somewhat athletic during the basketball shooting. I think one of the worst, one of the most, I let's say worst, one of the most disappointing moments for me is when a couple of years ago, when we met up with Throwback King. And and we went to the Hall of Fame, and I remember Mac met us there, and we, they have a basketball court at the Hall, and it just so happened that there wasn't as many people there, so we basically had the one side of the court all to our own, and there was like a 3-point shooting competition, and we actually started playing like a game of 21. I don't think I ever got finished, but we we started to, and I put a little move on Mac. I crossed him, and the funny thing about that was I had an Iverson. I didn't wear it for the game because I didn't want it to get all. I ended up taking it off. I have his rookie home jersey, and that's the jersey from that moment. But I took it off, and I had a Sixers shirt under it, and Mac had the Michael Jordan. Would have been funny if it was the red Bulls jersey, but no, it was the USA, like the practice jersey that Mitchell and Ness made, the Dream Team practice jersey, number 9. And so I made a move, I did a little cross, I crossed him up, and I went, and I completely, I don't even know, you can't even call it a shot, I don't even know what it was. I think I shot a little too soon. I don't know, man. I think it's like I had a layup and I tried to shoot or something. I don't know. I was so surprised that I made the move that I just completely missed. And I knew as soon as the ball left, I knew it. I said, damn it, I shot put this thing. It bounced off it was like the worst shot you could think of. It bounced off the backboard. It was terrible. It was all but the finish. It's like $100 move and then a 10-cent finish. And the 10-cent will be kind. So I told them, look, my goal for this, look, we could do whatever. I just want to make one shot this time. I don't have to go off, like Kobe or something like that. I just want one. One. If we play a game, even if it's a, 21 or what, I just want one to go in this time, because I was 0 for in that one. I tried a 3 and I missed. I think I even tried a hook shot. I remember I even said like Embiid when I let it go, and it was terrible. There was more Ben Simmons in that shot than Embiid, believe me. And I don't even know. Maybe that's even being too kind to Ben. I have no idea. But it was. I felt bad because it's like, when I was younger, I could hoop a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to put myself on a pedestal, but I used to be able to shoot pretty decent. I used to be the Steph Curry of our company's out in the lunchtime basketball games we used to play at the company, and I don't know what that says about the rest of the people playing, but there were a lot of oh-no's when I got the ball. And let me say that. There was a lot of oh-no's. Now, I don't know if that was good or bad, but but I used to be able to. I used to be able to hoop pretty decently, and obviously it's been a while. And then when I was at the here I am at the Hall of Fame. How many great players were probably on that court, and I'm looking like, I couldn't hit water in the ocean from the boat if I tried. That's how bad it was. And afterwards, I didn't say anything, but afterwards I'm like, damn, how many opportunities am I going to have like this? And I couldn't even get one shot to fall. I started, just kind of ate away a little bit, particularly after making that move, and like, sometimes you're your own worst critic, right? The old saying. It was a hell of a fun time. It was amazing. But I'm looking for a little, vindication this time. I'm looking to, to at least sink one. That's all I need. Just one, and I think everything gets forgotten about. The only saving grace for me is we didn't film. Because if we filmed, knowing Slim the way I know, he probably would have put on a loop me missing that shot after I crossed Mac. Slim would have, this is how you don't shoot. But I would like to get some film in this time. I think we need to, we need to get ourselves on film this time. I mean, with all the filming that King Leo does at the YMCA or wherever he's shooting those, the King Leo reels on Instagram against Yellow Shorts, I mean, I think we need to, I think now we need to have a reel with all of us, I think that would be a lot of fun. But I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I just want to make one. I just want to get one basket that whole time. I'll walk away. No, it'll be like 98 Jordan. I'll hit the shot. I'll just, all right, I'm good. I'll walk off the court. Stacks would be like, where are you going? You're like, no. This is as high as it's gonna get for me. I mean, it could be a layup. So that thing goes in see the ball coming through the net. Like, all right, I'm good. I'm walking away a winner. Yeah. But no, I really look forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's always nice to hang out with people that are good friends, as we all know. And it's amazing. It amazes me. We talked about on Rez's Live this week how long, some of us have known each other. Really through YouTube and through the group. And yeah, I've met some of them, here and there. Obviously, Slim's a decent amount, but the other fellas I've been able to meet here and there. But Rez, this would be the first time, so it's cool. It's amazing how a group of people who kind of just came together through the love of jersey collecting and putting videos up on YouTube kind of found a bond. And that's just the amazing part of life sometimes. And I know we've had others that have come in since. And, Throwback King asked something in the live this past Wednesday night that kind of stuck with me. And his question was, do you think it's ever going to kind of be again the way what we did back in, those years ago here on YouTube when we had the group, we threw, the challenges out to each other, and we would always shout each other out. Like, you see people who do jersey videos now, and they don't really do a lot of that, right? You don't see the shout outs, you don't see the challenges, and just that kind of camaraderie that we did. And I said I don't think you are, because I mean, right now I'm going on an hour, right? Anymore, it's all about that instant gratification. People want just quick hitters, like minute-long vids, like TikTok. It's a TikTok world. It's so, you don't have that. You don't have the people taking time, to make sure, okay, that this is, to shout out people and, to create kind of, lifelong bonds on a platform like a YouTube, right? I think there are communities that do it. I did mention the fitness community in the live, and I from what I watch, they're always collabing with each other and doing all different stuff, right? And sometimes it's to promote product, whatever their energy, this or that, or what the powders or whatever that they do, right? But I think anymore, like the way we did it, I don't think you're going to have that anymore, because it was just it was a different time, but it was like a perfect storm that kind of came together. And I don't think you're going to have that, because the mindset is so different today. The mindset is to do these quick videos, these quick hitters, TikTok, whatever. And I know YouTube, you have the ability to do the very short stories or whatever. Now, me, I don't like that. I like to talk a bit more. I like to be more my videos are going to go a little longer because, yeah, I mean, I want to show what I get. And if I have like these vehicle vlogs where it's just basically me in my Jeep talking, but it's in the life, it's real life, right? It's whatever comes to mind. So I don't mind doing this, and I enjoy this, right? But not a lot of people do this kind of stuff now, right? It's so quick. Everyone wants everything so quick. You don't have the time to do it, and that makes it tougher to do stuff like shout outs, like, talking about this event that's going on in a couple weeks at, we're in Connecticut and whatever, and talking about being together with the guys and reminiscing about the last time. And yeah, I mean, you're not going to have that. You're not going to see that a lot on platforms like this. So it is a shame. It's not to say, listen, people are going to come on and they're going to make their videos, and they might, the Jersey heads, that they're going to show stuff. And I mean, I'm talking about new people that come along into YouTube. Yeah, they're going to do what they do. I don't think it's going to be like what we were doing. I think we just had a special thing, and I really do consider it a special thing, and I'm happy to have been a part of that. And one of the topics this past Wednesday was Rez was asking, what are you proud of? And I think all of us did say we were proud of being a part of. We're proud of being a part of this community, this Jersey Head community, because not only is it a place where we've been able to share our passions, but we've made some lifelong friendships and bonds, and that's just something that is a special thing. And I know other communities have this too. I think we're fortunate to live at a time where you have a lot of social media. You can make friends through it. You can form lifelong bonds through it. I mean, I've done it. Other people have done it. But I think when we started this, it was a different time. It wasn't a time where people wanted quick hit. Now you had a limitation back then of the time your video, the length of the video. I think it was like 15 minutes. You couldn't do anything past 15 minutes. But then over time that lengthened out. And at the mall now. But even with that, we were still able to do those things. We were still able to do the challenges and, do different stuff that kind of got us all closer together. And obviously we knew each other through the groups. And then, Snack started his group on Facebook, and Slim started his, and it just really put everything over the top. And there are a lot of people in our group. Listen, there's a lot of guys and gals in our group that don't cam up, on YouTube, and they won't do it. They're busy with life, they have families, what have you. We have people with some just outstanding collections, and they post on Instagram or in the groups on Facebook and whatnot, but they may never show up on YouTube. And that's okay. They don't have to. But I think at that time, I think you also had more people that were willing to hop on YouTube and create a channel and show their stuff. And we had people from all over the world, not just here in the States, but all over the place, all over the globe that were making videos, and we got to kind of know them. I mean, these are people from thousands of miles away, and they were part of, they were, we considered them friends, and vice versa. Just by putting out YouTube vids. You had Ball Track, you had all these different people. You had Elastic, what was it, Elastic Man, or Kid, I forget his name. He was a big Hawks fan, and he was from overseas, and he had a huge Hawks, like all these gamer jerseys, like amazing gems, an authentic Big Hawk jersey and all sorts of stuff. And there were others, That's just naming a couple of them. But But it was a different time. Like I said during Rez's live, I said it was a different time then. It was a different mindset, So what we did then, I don't know if it could be redone. I don't know if you're going to have a group of people that come in at Jersey Heads and they kind of do what we did. I don't know if that's really the case. If that can be the case, and maybe it will. Who knows? People might get real, enthused to do something like that, and I hope it does. I hope so. Because it was a lot of fun. And if other people want to do something like that or get us joined in or what have you, that's totally fine. I'd be up for it. It's always good to welcome more people. That's just it. I know we kind of have a set group of of the OGs here, but the more the merrier is the old saying, and I firmly believe in that. So, all right, let's see what kind of space I can find here. Or do I need to go to the top? Usually, when I come to the mall, I usually come earlier than this. There's a spot over there, I guess. And yeah, the mall can definitely get pretty crowded on the weekends. Because now you get the schools closed and everything, so all the kids can start coming. Maybe even more so than they usually do, as they have all for the summer and whatnot. And oh my, well, we made it just over an hour. But I thank you all for joining in. A bit of a long vehicle vlog this time because it was going from the city to KOP. But I'm going to go into the lids in here. I'm going to see if I can find any of those pinstripe hats. I'm hoping to find the Marlins, but we'll see. We'll see. If not, there's other sources like eBay and, wherever where you can find these hats eventually. So, we'll see. We'll see. But anyhow, that is it. We had quite a few topics on the road here. Hope everything's going well for all of you. Again, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, including my own, of course, tomorrow. I'll be visiting him. Looking forward to that. And have a great rest of the weekend, and I will see you again soon. I do have to show the white chocolate jersey back there, and I will do that next time I hop on YouTube, do a vid. Until then, you all take care. Leave those likes. Hit the bell icon so you're always notified to future content from yours truly, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Make sure to subscribe to all the wonderful Jersey heads out there as well. And I will see you in the next one. All right, everyone, take care.